The Ukrainian Flamingo missile has been called a breakthrough for the Ukrainian military-industrial complex. It has already scared the Kremlin. Ukrainian military political observer of the Information Resistance Group, Alexander Kovalenko, said in an interview with Charter 97 media outlet that here we are talking not only about the defeat of the near and middle rear areas on the territory of the Russian Federation, but also deep rear areas. The second point is a fundamentally more powerful warhead, a tonnage of 1,150 kilograms. To date, the only cruise missile, not land-based, but air-launched, which has such a powerful warhead, is the old Soviet Kh-22. It has a warhead weighing 950 kilograms. We can say that today, the Flamingo is the most powerful cruise missile in the world in terms of conventional warhead. In addition, it should be noted that the Flamingo missile itself, unlike most subsonic cruise missiles that Ukraine and the world have, is a mobilization missile. It can be produced in large quantities, very quickly, and quite cheaply. Considering that in terms of its characteristics and range, it surpasses even the American Tomahawk, and in terms of warhead, even the most powerful cruise missile, the Kh-22, we can say that it has no analogues in the world. And the final point is that it has a land-based launcher. This significantly complicates the recording of the launcher's entry into position. Most cruise missiles in the world are air or sea-based. For example, the Kh-101, Kh-555, Caliber, the American Tomahawk. These are mainly sea-based launchers, the same Arleigh Burke-class destroyers. When, for example, the Tu-95 takes off, we know about it in advance, he added. According to him, Ukraine can carry out operational and operational tactical tasks deep in Russia and sometimes even achieve strategic successes. 3,000 kilometers makes it possible to cover a large radius across the territory of the Russian Federation, where there are oil refineries, military airfields, military industrial complex enterprises, military units, and other facilities. The list of targets is very long. It is most likely possible to hit one of Putin's residences. But this missile is not an anti-bunker missile. For that, a concrete piercing warhead is needed. Some cruise missiles have these, but the Flamingo does not. In addition, we are talking about an area where there is an echeloned air defense. Moscow and the region where one of Putin's main bunkers is Novo-Ogaryovo is located. If we manage to discharge and exhaust the air defense with massive drone attacks, then we can try to strike with Flamingo. But I believe that eliminating Putin or striking the Kremlin are secondary tasks. The main goals are to undermine the military-industrial complex of the Russian Federation, oil refining, and deprive the budget of revenues from energy exports. Putin's removal will not have a cardinal effect on the war. His bunker is designed even for a nuclear strike. A conventional missile will not destroy it completely. It can damage it, block it for a while, but not eliminate it.
Gas stations have run dry in some regions of Russia after Ukrainian drones struck refineries and other oil infrastructure in recent weeks, with motorists waiting in long lines and officials resorting to rationing or cutting off sales altogether. According to Associated Press, wholesale prices on the St. Petersburg International Mercantile Exchange for A95 gas, the highest octane, spiked to record highs last week, soaring to about 50% higher than in January, as demand soared from farmers seeking to bring in the harvest and Russians hitting the roads for their last big vacation of the summer. Russian media outlets reported fuel shortages are hitting consumers in several regions in the Far East and on the Crimean Peninsula, which was illegally annexed from Ukraine by Moscow in 2014. Media outlets in the Primorai region, which borders North Korea, reported long lines and prices of about 78 rubles per liter at gas stations in the area, where the average monthly wage is about $1,200. Journalists at local news outlet Primpress found other drivers trying to sell gas online for as much as 220 rubles per liter. In the Kurilsky district of the Kuril Islands north of Japan, shortages of lower-octane A92 gas forced officials to halt public sales outright Monday. In Crimea, a popular resort area, some companies sold fuel only to holders of coupons or special cards. Russia is no stranger to gasoline price increases at end of summer. But this year's shortages have been aggravated by Ukraine's attacks on oil refineries in the 3.5-year-old war. Larger, more concentrated attacks are causing more damage and hampering production. Ukraine has targeted energy infrastructure before, but the recent strikes have been more successful, with more drones targeting a more concentrated group of facilities. The Ukrainians are attacking an arc of refineries, starting from Ryazan, which is south of Moscow, all the way to Volgograd. That region is where people are driving through on their way to the Black Sea.
Maritime province is an odd case. It's quite far supplied by few refineries, so once a refinery goes on maintenance in there, you have to bring the product there from quite far away from the rest of Russia, and if there are logistical difficulties, then it becomes a vulnerable region.
Это все ждут бензинчика, а бензинчика, видимо, нет. А слово совсем.
What Ukrainians are doing, they are attacking an arc of refineries starting from Ryazan, which is south of Moscow, and all the way to Volgograd. That region is where people are driving through on their way to the Black Sea. That's the region where Russia has its black earth, so that's where most of harvest operations are going on. And that's also, well, rather densely populated region, so that's the center of demand.
Это, наверное, вряд ли остановится, потому что ежегодное подорожание минимум на 10% все равно есть. Это связано с разными факторами, в том числе и с естественными. Цены растут. Это хорошего в этом, конечно, мало, но это жизнь.
Нет, цены не удивили, потому что они растут, в принципе, всегда, медленно относительно. И если сравнивать, может быть, с другими странами, там дороже, поэтому, пока более-менее терпимо.